Welcome to Imperium Galactica II tutorial mode. This interactive tutorial will teach you, in easy-to-follow steps, the basic controls and functions of each area of Imperium Galactica II. Parts of the tutorial require you to watch and listen as I show you how to perform various tasks. Other parts of the tutorial require you to take control and perform tasks yourself. You may also toggle the on-screen text on or off by pressing the T key. Switching the text off may be useful if you find that simultaneously following the cursor movements and reading the text is difficult. If you wish to access other options, press the O or Escape key. You begin the game as leader of a galactic empire, and the first screen you see is this one, called the Star Map. The Star Map is one of the most important screens in the game. From here, you can control the movements of your fleets, gather and examine planetary information, colonize planets, and wage wars. Your view of the star map may be manipulated using the icons at the bottom of the screen to rotate and zoom in or out. Alternatively, you can use your keyboard. The arrow keys can be used to rotate the view, and the plus or minus keys used to zoom in or out. Now, experiment with different camera angles using plus or minus and the arrow keys. At the top of the screen, there is a toolbar. On the left side of this toolbar are 4 buttons that control the flow of time during the game. From left to right, these icons are pause, slow, normal, and fast. In pause mode, time is stopped, but you can still assign orders and issue commands as normal. As an alternative to using the icons, you can pause time by pressing the space bar and use the 1, 2, and 3 keys to change speed. Now experiment with the time icons. Next to the time icons is your current bank balance in credits, and next to that is the current date. You should keep a keen eye on your bank balance, as running out of credits can restrict your empire's activities. In the far top right corner is an icon that allows you to access each screen of the game. If you keep the left mouse button pressed when the cursor is on the icon, a menu is displayed that allows you to go to each of the available screens. Your empire's territory is indicated by a transparent red field called the radar range. All inhabited planets have a radar, and anything entering its range is visible to you. Fleets also have a radar range, displayed as a blue transparent field. Anything that enters the radar range of a fleet is also visible to you, allowing the discovery of new planets outside your territory. Now, left-click on your fleet to select it, then right-click outside the red area.
Yes.
Depending on the technology you possess, your fleets will be able to venture further and further away from your territory without losing communication or visible radar range. If you wish, you can assign waypoints to your fleet by holding down the Shift key and right-clicking on the star map to define each part of its route. This is very useful for creating patrols. Locate a new planet. The easiest way to do this is to create a patrol route for your fleet around the perimeter of the red radar range using waypoints by holding down the Shift and right-clicking on the star map to define the route. If you want, you can use the fast time to help speed things up. You can deploy satellites over planets to get detailed information about the planet's potential with regards to the production and population. Press the left mouse button on the newly discovered planet and keep the button pressed. Select the satellite icon from the icons that appear. A satellite will be sent there for a mere cost of 3,000 credits. Deploy a satellite over the new planet. Now that you have found a planet, you can colonize it. In order to colonize planets, you usually need to build a colonization ship which will construct the colony hub and transport the colonists. However, in this tutorial, we will build a colonization ship for you instantly. Press the left mouse button on the newly discovered planet and keep the button pressed. Select the colonization icon from the icons that appear. A colonization ship will be sent there. Once the ship arrives, it will be disassembled and a colony hub constructed. Colonize the planet by holding down the left button over the planet and selecting the colonization icon. Now the colonization ship has arrived at the planet. Work will start on a colony hub. If you wish to learn more about your colonies, please see Tutorial Section 2. As you can see, there is a window in the bottom left corner of the screen. This window displays information on the selected planet, such as the controlling race or empire, the population number, the morale of the population, and what is being produced by the planet's factories. Each planet is important as the population provides you with income via taxation. The greater your income, the more money you can spend on research, production, or building new colonies. Please see the Tutorial Section 2 for more information. You can also display detailed information about your fleets. To do this, select the desired fleet, then left-click on the small information window at the bottom left side of the screen. The individual ships and tanks that make up the fleet are displayed. Left-click on them individually to see more information, including the type of equipment fitted to that particular ship or tank. Right-click on the information window if you want to split your fleet. Two windows will appear, one for the old fleet and one for the new. By left-clicking on the ships, you can add or remove them from the fleets. Now, split your fleet, then click Off to continue. Well done! If you want to join your separated fleets together, just move one of them to the other. The fleets will automatically join when they meet. You are also able to rename your fleet. This can help you distinguish your fleets from each other. To do this, move the cursor over the small information window and click both mouse buttons at the same time. You will then be able to type a new name for your fleet. Now, rename one of your fleets. You can also use the same technique to rename planets. Select the planet, then click both mouse buttons on the small information window. If you left-click on the small information window, detailed information about the planet is displayed. If you right-click on the small information window, you will be able to view the planet's surface. This section of the tutorial is now complete. You should continue with part 2 of the tutorial, which will teach you about the colonies. Welcome back to Imperium Galactica II tutorial mode. This is the second part of the tutorial which deals with colony management. Please observe that you now have 2 colonies and that one of them, called New Planet, has only recently been colonized. Once the colony hub has been finished on New Planet, you can start to expand the colony by constructing new buildings. To get to the planet's surface and see the colony, left-click on the planet and keep the mouse button pressed. The planet surface icon will appear. Move the cursor over this icon and release the mouse button. Alternatively, select the planet and press the F3 key or right-click on the planet information window. Now go to the surface view of New Planet. As you can see, a colony hub has been placed on your planet. You can see how many buildings are on the colony using the radar map in the bottom right corner of the screen. Each building is represented by a dot. White dots show functional buildings and gray dots show non-functional buildings. The colony hub is the first and most important building on the colony. It houses 5,000 colonists, incorporates a radar, and coordinates all building work. In the top left corner of the screen is a window that you can use to construct new buildings. To do this, Left-click on the window and keep the mouse button pressed. A menu of all the available buildings will appear. Select the building you want and release the mouse button. Now, click on the landscape to place the building and start the construction. Now, build a small house. Construction work on the house has now started. While you are waiting, you could try to move the camera around the colony. You can zoom your view in or out using the plus or minus keys, and rotate or tilt your view using the arrow keys. If you move the cursor to the edge of the screen will scroll in that direction. You can also rotate and tilt your view by pressing down both mouse buttons and moving the mouse. Now that you have 2 planets, you can examine the other planet by pressing page up, page down. If you have several colonies, pressing page up, page down allows you to view each of them in turn. Now press page up or down to go to the next planet. Some buildings on the colony screen will not only affect your colony, they will also affect the overall performance of your empire. For example, if you build a ship research center, it will increase your empire's ship research capability. Build a ship research center. Once the ship research center is built, you will see an electrical symbol rotating above it. This indicates that the building is not receiving sufficient power to function properly. All buildings on the colony, except for the colony hub, require power. This power is supplied by power plants. You can examine the current power supply for your entire colony. Just above the small information window are 2 sets of numbers. The number on the right, next to the electricity sign, shows you how much energy you are producing. If the number is red, it means that a building on your colony is not receiving enough power and you will have to construct a new power plant. Now, build a fusion plant to rectify the problem. Once the fusion plant is built, the research center will start to function. Other reasons why buildings may not function is a shortage of workers, shown by the other number above the small information window, or if the building is more than 50% damaged. A quick way to get extra electricity and workers is to switch off other buildings using the icon to the left of the radar map. Buildings can be separated into 4 categories. 1. Civilian buildings such as houses, police stations, and hospitals that provide the basic civil requirements of your population, or recreational facilities like the park and stadium, which improve the standard of living for your citizens. 2. Industrial buildings like factories or research centers that increase your production and research capability. 3. Military buildings like fortresses and planetary guns that provide defense in case of attack. And lastly, 4. Commercial buildings like fusion plants that provide electricity. Now I will show you more detailed planet information. Population not only shows you the current number of people in the colony, but also provides you with monthly updates and changes in the population numbers. Morale shows you the attitude of the people and is affected by the living conditions on the planet. Living conditions are affected by how well you build and run the colony. If the people are happy on a planet, they will increase in numbers and therefore increase your tax income at the same time. If they are unhappy, the reverse will happen. You can often improve low morale by reducing the level of tax. You can change the level of tax at the bottom of the screen by pressing and holding the left mouse button over the tax icon and selecting the desired level of tax. Now, change the level of taxation. Well done! The All icon next to the tax icon will apply the currently selected tax rate to all of your colonies, while the plus and minus icons will raise or lower the tax rate 1 step at a time. Income shows you how much money this planet makes each month, while surface shows you the surface type on this planet. This is important because you can play as different races, and each race prefers a different type of surface. The Solarians, for example, prefer to live on planets that have grass or forest surfaces. If a race likes the surface type, the population will increase at a faster rate. Tanks show you the number of tank units on the planet, and problems list the current problems facing the colony population. If these problems are serious, with a rating of 30% or above, it means that a large number of people on the colony are concerned. If you do not deal with the problems, morale will fall, and the people may revolt. As you can see, this planet has food problems. To rectify this, you need to build a food factory. This will help to feed the citizens and increase their morale. Now, build a food factory. When the food factory has been built, the morale of the people will slowly increase. Lowering the tax rate is a quick way to avoid problems on a colony, as it increases morale at the expense of your income. Ideally, you should construct colonies that have a high tax rate and a happy population. This is a skill well worth mastering. If you do not want to constantly manipulate the colony, you can use the auto build option. This feature will construct the colony according to a predetermined plan, taking into account the needs of the population to a certain extent. However, although auto build is useful, it may not construct the perfect colony. On harder levels especially, your decisions will be required. Now, change your auto build setting. As you can see, there are plenty of auto build options. You can read about them in the manual, or you can press F1 to access the help screen during the game. As I mentioned before, auto build can be useful, especially if you have a large empire with plenty of colonies. If you have used auto build on a large number of planets, you can set priority levels for them. Planets with auto build switched on and a higher priority level will receive funding quicker and have problems dealt with faster than planets with a lower priority level. Even small problems will be dealt with quicker on planets with a higher priority level. Therefore, you must choose which planets have priority very carefully. This section of the tutorial is now complete. You should continue with part 3 of the tutorial, which explains the production, research, and design sections of the game. Welcome back to Imperium Galactica II tutorial mode. This is the third part of the tutorial. I am going to teach you the importance of production, research, and design. I will start with production. Press and hold the left mouse button on the planet where you want to produce your next ship. Select the production icon, then release the mouse button. The production screen is now displayed. This screen is divided into 2 sections. The left side deals with ship production and the right side deals with tank production. By pressing and holding the left mouse button in the empty box at the top of the left side of the screen, you are able to select the ship you want to build from the drop-down menu. Now, add a destroyer to the production. Well done! While time passes, I will explain some more. The boxes below where the destroyer is being produced are used to queue up other production orders. The price of each item is displayed under it in the production box and is continuously deducted from your credits while the item is being produced. The speed of production is dependent on the number of operational factories on the colony. Each factory adds to your overall production capacity. The greater your capacity, the faster you can produce. Now, build a spaceship factory on your planet. When the factory is completed, it will increase your capacity and production speed. Next to the empty boxes you use to add orders to the production queue are plus and minus icons. You can use these icons to increase or decrease the number of tanks or ships you produce. If you want to spend all of your money on production, you can set production to repeat mode by pressing the repeat arrow below the plus and minus icons. With repeat on, your factories will produce this invention for as long as your money lasts or until you deselect it. If you use the queue and set more than one invention to repeat, the colony will produce them one after another. To learn more about the repeat mode, you can check the manual or help screen F1 during a game. If you want to examine production on another planet, you can choose the planet from the star map or left-click and hold the mouse button on the planet name at the top of the production screen. Select the planet from the menu that appears. To build tanks, you need to construct a tank factory. When the tank factory is completed, you need to build 3 tanks. Now, build a tank factory on your planet, then build 3 tanks. Now, build the tanks.
Awaiting orders, sir. On my way.
Well done! The tanks have now been produced. All the tanks you build are created on your planet. But by using the icon above plus and minus, you can change this so that the tanks will be produced and added to a fleet nearby. Now I will show you how to research new technologies and produce new invention designs. You are now viewing the research screen. There are 3 basic research groups: tanks, spaceships, and buildings, as well as a 4th special group that I will explain later. Each of the main groups has several subgroups. For example, the spaceship group has ship, hull, and gun subgroups. In these groups, you can select the invention by clicking on its graphic or by selecting it from the menu. If you press and hold the right mouse button and move the mouse, you can rotate the sphere that contains the inventions. The wireframe models are designs that are still to be researched, and the solid textured objects are completed inventions. By using the icons at the bottom of the screen, you can select the various groups and subgroups and locate the required invention. Click on a cannon turret located under tank turrets. If you click on a wireframe object, information regarding this invention will be displayed. You can see if any other inventions must be researched before this invention, as is the case with particularly sophisticated technology. If all of the names in the top box are white, you can begin researching this invention. On the screen, you can see how much money is required to start researching this invention. The cost of the research process is deducted from your credits continuously. If you choose to double the money for research, the research process will take less time to complete. Now you need to research the quad laser, which is a ship weapon. Now select quad laser and start the research process. Well done! You must have noticed the 2 orbs at the side of the screen by now. The orbs represent your technology levels. The left orb shows the technology level required to research this invention, and the right orb shows your current technology level. Each of the 3 main research groups, tanks, ships, and buildings, have separate research centers. You will need to build research centers on your colonies to increase your technology level so you can research certain inventions. Now you will have to research the heavy destroyer. You will require 3 ship research centers in total to do this. You currently only have 2. Access the colony screen and build the appropriate ship research centers. You may also need to build a fusion plant to provide enough electricity for the center to function. Now research the heavy destroyer.
Yes, sir. Congratulations, sir.
Well done! Earlier in this section, I mentioned an extra special research group. This research group contains technology related to the storyline in campaign games. Inventions that come into this category require a certain technology level of all three main research groups before they can be researched. A quick way to start researching an invention is to use the drop-down menu from the top toolbar. This is the icon on the far right of the toolbar, to the left of the screen select menu. This can be reached from any screen. Now that you know how to research technologies, I will show you how to create new ship designs. On this screen, you can design your own ships or tanks. A design consists of a ship or tank with certain equipment fitted to it. Designs you create will then be available for production. On the left side of the screen, you can see the current ship designs. You have several options. New. Make a new design. Redesign. Create a new design based on an existing one. Upgrade. Modify an existing design by adding the latest technology. Each of the ships, except for fighters and colonization ships, have equipment pods. These pods are areas of the ship that you can add equipment to. There are weapon pods, hyperdrive pods, etc. The pod determines the type of invention and quantity that can be equipped. On the right side of the screen, you see what is currently on the pod. You can now upgrade one of your ships and add a new laser. Now, add a quad laser to your existing destroyer. Well done! You may also have noticed the Auto Design button. Auto Design will automatically add the best available weapons and inventions to your design. However, what Auto Design chooses to add to a design may not be what you would choose to add to a design. For example, you may have chosen to fit a better ECM system, while Auto Design may choose to fit a better radar. The price for each design is shown at the top of the screen. Better hyperdrives make your fleets move faster, and better weapons make your fleets more deadly. But the better equipped your ships are, the more expensive they are to build. The firepower and speed of the design is also displayed. Now that we have researched a heavy destroyer, a basic design has automatically been created. It is up to you to create a new, different ship design. Note that you can also rename your ships while creating the design. Design a new heavy destroyer, and don't forget to equip its pods. Left-click and hold the button on the new icon and select the heavy destroyer. Once the design is complete, click OK. Well done! If you wish to get rid of old technology, you can delete the design. When deleting designs, you can sell the vehicles and receive 40% of their price. If you sell them, someone else may buy these ships from the trade screen, which is explained more fully later. Congratulations! You have completed this tutorial lesson. You should now check out section 4 of the tutorial, where you can learn about the space and ground battles. Welcome back to Imperium Galactica II tutorial mode. In this section of the tutorial, I will show you how to fight space and ground battles. We will start with space battles. Now you are becoming a little more experienced. I am going to set you a more difficult task. I want you to assemble a fleet and attack the enemy planet. To accomplish this task, you will need to take ground forces to the planet and use them to destroy key installations on the surface. The first step is to move your assault fleet near to the planet where you constructed the tanks. Then, Click on the tank's icon that appears at the bottom of the star map. The tank transfer screen is displayed. This screen is split into two sections. The left section shows tanks being carried by the fleet, and the right section shows tanks on the planet. You can add tanks to your fleet by clicking the tanks on the planet, and vice versa. The amount of tanks your fleet can carry is displayed at the bottom left of the screen. When you have completed the transfer, click Off. Now, transfer some tanks to your fleet by moving your fleet near to your planet and transfer your tanks using the tanks icon.
Moving into position.
Now you must move your fleet to the enemy planet. You will probably need a larger fleet, so I will give you some money you can use to expand your armada. Now, build at least 3 more tanks and destroyers, then attack the enemy planet by right-clicking on it. Don't forget to transfer your new tanks to your fleet. You will also need to build a tank factory on your colony.
Yes. Orders received. Your orders?
Yes, sir. Yes? Reporting, sir. Moving
As
to
you
attack.
approach the planet, the enemy will attack your fleet, attempting to prevent you from landing your ground forces on their planet. You will have to defeat the enemy fleet and destroy any space stations in orbit around the planet before you are able to land. You have engaged the enemy and are entering the space battle section. During space battles, you can manipulate the camera the same way as on your colonies. You can zoom your view in or out using the plus or minus keys, and rotate or tilt your view using the arrow keys or both mouse buttons. If you move the cursor to the edge of the screen will scroll in that direction. In addition, you may also use the viewing icons that appear on the star map. As you will notice, time has been paused. Before the battle starts, you can select your fleet's strategy. The different strategies you can choose are displayed on the right side of the screen. Each strategy has its advantages and disadvantages, as you will soon find out. After selecting the appropriate strategy, press one of the speed buttons to continue. To select a ship, left-click on it. To select more than one ship, press and hold the left mouse button, then draw a box by moving your mouse around all the ships you wish to select. To attack an enemy, right-click on it. On the right side of the screen are a number of icons depicting various types of weapons. You can disable or enable them by right-clicking. This is useful, as different weapons have longer recharge rates between firing. This will only be accessible once the battle has started, and you have at least one ship selected. Below the weapons icons, you will find the retreat icon. If you press it, you will retreat from the battle. Retreating may have its drawbacks, as a hasty retreat might cause some of your ships to navigate into space debris, thus destroying it. Only use the retreat button whenever it is absolutely necessary. If you want to move your ships into another position, right-click on the desired location. If you want to change the altitude of a ship, press and hold the right mouse button and move the mouse up or down. Release the mouse button when you have reached the desired height. Before I leave you to crush the opposition, remember that if you pause time, you can still give orders to your ships. Now, resume normal time and attack the enemy.
Yes, sir.
Moving to attack.
Yes, sir.
Your orders? She's gonna blow. Daddy. Enemy eliminated, sir. Yes.
Who's the daddy?
Let's go. We're doomed!
If you have won, your fleet has moved into orbit around the planet and is waiting to deploy its ground units on the colony surface using your ground unit carriers. The controls for ground battles are the same as for space battles. However, there are a few rules you need to be aware of before the battle starts. Firstly, you cannot land your forces in the red areas. Secondly, you can land your forces individually by left-clicking a suitable location, or you can land all your forces in the same area by right-clicking on a suitable location. Thirdly, the radar displays some important information. Red dots represent enemy forces, and green dots represent your forces. Larger dots represent buildings that must be destroyed, such as fortresses, before you conquer the planet. And finally, once the battle is in progress, you can click on the retreat button at the bottom of the screen. Clicking this will withdraw your tanks to a safe position for your ground unit carriers to retrieve them. Now, destroy the enemy.
Yes, sir. Let's go. Target under fire, sir.
He's gonna blow.
Target selected.
Enemy
listening, sir.
eliminated, sir.
Well done. You have completed this part of the tutorial. Now continue with the final part that deals with diplomacy and spying. Welcome to the last part of the Imperium Galactica II tutorial. This section deals with the trading, diplomacy, and spying screens, vital areas of the game that must be mastered if you are to be successful. I will start by explaining how to use the trade screen. You can use the trade screen to buy ships and tanks from other empires. If you want to purchase items from the trade screen, you will first of all need to build a trade port on your planet. Now, build a trade port on your planet. Once construction of the trade port has been completed, you can access the trade screen using the drop-down menu or by pressing the F8 key. You can check out items available for trade without building a trade port, but you will not be able to purchase them. In the left window, you can see different items for trade, the quantity available, and the price. If you want to buy an item, click on it, then select the amount you wish to purchase. To finalize the deal, you have to select the destination, which is the planet where you built your trade port, and then click OK to confirm. Buy a destroyer now. Well done. The destroyer will arrive at your planet soon, and the purchase price has been deducted from your credits. The estimated time of arrival can be seen under ETA. You may be able to get better trade deals with another race by using the diplomacy screen. You can access diplomacy by pressing F6 or selecting the diplomacy screen from the drop-down menu. Now, access the diplomacy screen. Before you can talk to another race, you will need to discover them on the star map. Once a new race has been discovered, they will become visible in the diplomacy screen. Clicking on the alien portrait will enable you to gain access to the diplomacy options that are located in the lower section of the screen. Now I will reveal a new race for you. Try to improve your relationship with a newly discovered race. You can do this by selecting the option under Talk About. Yes, it seems they agree. The information window in the top right of the screen shows the current status of your relationship with this race. Diplomacy is not just used for talking to other races and showing them your intentions. You can also use it for exchanging items, making demands, as well as offering gifts and support. If the alien portrait is surrounded by a flashing orb, it means they have sent a message to you. Clicking on the portrait allows you to read the message. The time has come to offer them an exchange. Now, exchange the quad laser invention for their satellite. Use the Offer For option. Well done. Using these techniques, you can make alliances, offer credits for certain items, or even threaten another empire. What you know of an empire largely depends on your agents. You can send spies into enemy territories to find out valuable information, and then trade it on the diplomacy screen. I will now show you how spying works. This is your spying agency. The amount of agents you can recruit is shown next to max at the bottom left of the screen, and is determined by the number of spy centers you have built on your colonies. At this moment, you have 3 agents. The panel in the bottom left corner displays information regarding the spies. Each spy has several statistics relating to their skills. For more information about the statistics, access the help screen by pressing the F1 key during the game. For now, you need to know that spies with more skill points and higher ranks have a greater chance of success during missions. As the experience points, indicated next to XP, of your agent increase, he will be able to complete more complex missions. Before the spy departs on the mission, you are shown the chances of the spy successfully completing the mission, and how long the mission is expected to take. During missions, you can recall spies if you need them for more pressing matters. Also, a mission time will be displayed showing you how much time is left before the agent finishes his mission. Once the spy has completed his mission, the results will be displayed. You can then repeat the same mission or select a new mission for the agent. Spies can be used to get information from another race. Send your spy on a mission to retrieve information about the Cheblon Empire. Your defense against enemy spies is counterintelligence. During this mission, your agent will search for enemy spies in your territory. His success depends on his experience level and counterintelligence ability. You can assign more than one agent on this job, increasing the chances of capturing enemy agents. Send an agent on a counterintelligence mission. If your agent is captured by another empire, they might kill him or convert him into a double agent. If you suspect that your spy is a double agent, you can kill him. Killing too many spies will affect their morale and hinder their performance. If an agent completes a mission, he gains experience, and you can increase his skills. Another way to increase skills is to send an agent into training. There are different levels of training. Higher levels are more expensive and take longer to complete, but reward the agent with more experience points than cheaper, shorter training courses. The in-game help, accessed by pressing the F1 key, will provide you with information about this screen and describes available mission types. Now I will show you the information screen, a useful summary of your current game. Here you see a list of your planets and fleets. If you left-click on the text next to the planet, the detailed planet or fleet information will appear. If you left-click on the planet, you will enter the star map, and the selected planet will be at the center of the map. You can also view known data regarding other empires. There are various ways to measure the productivity of your empire using the graph on the right side of the screen. Click on the icons to compare the efficiency of your empire with the other known empires. Each empire is represented by a different color. Congratulations! You have completed the tutorial and should now be able to play the game successfully. Remember what I have taught you, but at the end of the day, the fate of the empire is in your hands. Don't forget you can access the in-game help at any time by pressing the F1 key. Good luck!